Na-present ko na po sa inyo ang how you will do the Mohr circle. Again, if you do not familiar with the Mohr circle, kung hindi niyo po siya masundan, pwede naman po kung magaling kayong magsaulo, pwede naman pong sauluhin ang formula. Know the values and plug in all the values to the corresponding equations. Okay? And sa chapter 6, ganun din po. Ano? So, I just have to present the concept discussion, ano po, because hindi naman po natin mai apply ng maayos ang formula kung hindi tayo magkakaroon ng concept discussion. Okay? But again, you have to memorize or familiarize yourselves with the formula. Hindi nyo po siya pwedeng baguhin unless you derive it on your correctly. Okay? So, how are you already seeing the presentation? Nakikita niya po ang presentation, okay? Another reaction if you are hearing the audio po. So now we will proceed to our new chapter or module. We are now at module 6, okay? And our module 6 titled Torsional Stress, Elastic Torsion Formula, Torsional Deformation,
Okay,
and
listen
Power
attentively po.
Transmission. Okay? So from the word torsional stress, ano po ba yung stress na meron when our object or body experiencing a torque? And we have also the elastic torsion formula. So what is the formula to determine the elastic torsion? Another one, torsion deformation, and also the power transmission. So for our module 6, we have 3 learning objectives. So after this chapter, students should be able to do the following. Okay, first, determine the effects of applying a torsional loading to a long straight member such as a shaft or tube. Okay, and second, learn both the stress distribution within the member and the angle of twist when the material behaves in a linear and an elastic manner. Okay? And last, the third, analyze the effect of torsional loading in the statically indeterminate shafts and tube. Okay, so let's proceed with the torsion. Okay? So so torsional deformation of a circular shaft. Okay? So we will discuss here in this portion the torsional stress and deformation which occur when a member, such as shaft, is subjected to a torque or twisting. Okay? So what do I mean with that? So look at the illustration. Our illustration A and illustration B at figure 1. So you can see we have here the illustration of part of the shaft. Okay. So once it is being experiencing the torque, so look at what happened to its longitudinal. Okay. What happened to the circular part? Okay. And what happened to its cross section? Okay. So let's define first what is torsion or what is torque. Okay, so as it is being mentioned in our module or from previous study, we knew that torque is a moment that causes a member to rotate about its longitudinal axis. So this is very common in engineering applications, especially in drive shafts, turbines, and rotating machinery. Okay. And we know that when a circular shaft is subjected to a torque, several things happen. So as I mentioned from the illustration here, as it being presented here at figure B, the shaft twists along its length. Okay? Twisting causes the circle to remain circles here in its circular cross section. So the cross sections remain circular. this portion of the cross section. Okay? But they rotate relative to each other. So they are rotating relative to each other. Okay? And the shear stress develops. So it and that shear stress develop varies along the radius of the shaft. Meaning, from the center, the shear stress develop going to the surface of the cross section of the shaft. So the key idea, the shear stress at the center is zero, okay? Zero at the center of the shaft, and it increases linearly outward, reaching its maximum value of the shear stress at the outer surface. Okay? Also, if you would notice, meron po tayong angle here. Okay? So that angle is called the angle of twist. Okay? So that angle of twist tells us how much the shaft rotates due to the applied torque, and that depends on the applied torque. Ano po yung amount ng torque na in-apply? Depende po yun sa kanya kung ano yung angle of twist. Another one, this angle of twist depend on the shaft length. Okay, the length of the shaft, and another one, the material properties. That material properties is the shear modulus, and we also have the what we call polar moment of inertia. So later we will be discussing all of those terms, okay? And that polar moment of inertia is the shaft geometry. Okay, so in real application, we must ensure that the stress does not exceed material limits. The deformation is within acceptable limits, because those are very important for safe and efficient power transmission in design. Okay? So let's proceed now with the torsion formula, because in this chapter, what you must do or what you have to do is to, of course, memorize or familiarize yourself with the formula. Pagkuha po ng torsion, the shear stress, the polar moment of inertia, I think we do not have to derive, but I expect that every one of you understand the derivation of the formula. Okay? But in solving problem, torsion related problem, you just have to knew or you memorized already the formula related to the torsion related problem. Okay? So in this torsion formula, let's examine what happens to a circular shaft when torque is applied. So as you can see, as I mentioned, ito po yung ating original before the deformation. But after the application of torque, look at how the deformation happened in this circular shaft. It is being twisted in a certain angle. Okay? So its cross section or circular remains this circular. Okay? But the longitudinal lines, this line, the longitudinal lines, okay, these lines becomes twisted. Okay? And how we will connect that to the torsional formula. So when an external torque is applied, it produces an internal resisting torque within the shaft. Okay? And what is that internal resistance? That is the internal torque. And because of that internal torque, it develops a shear stress. Okay? Now, shear stress distribution from the center to the surface of the cross section. Okay? So uh, the internal torque is related to the shear stress distribution over the cross section. So as I mentioned, shear strain varies linearly from center to the outer surface. Okay? So let's proceed to the next one. Actually, this page is actually the illustration is being presented here po. Ano? So as you can see, the relationship po, the cross-sectional area of the shaft, we can see that we have here the illustration of what we call this somehow looks like raw, but it's actually not raw. It is a distance, okay? Or this is the location. So if we have the center, so raw natin at the center is equals to zero. Okay? Meaning shear stress is zero. Okay? And the outer surface, this distance, the surface of the shaft, our row here is the center. Okay? And this center, this is the location of the maximum value of the shear. Okay? The tau max. So this relationship is being explained here on the next page of our module. The next page is this relation po. Ano? That our shear, okay, the shear stress developed due to torque is equal to the certain point of the cross section of the shaft over the radius of the shaft or the C, okay, multiplied to the shear maximum or the maximum shear. So this equation tells us that the shear stress at any point depends on its radial position. Okay? And now to relate this to the applied torque, we consider again a small area element. So going back to the figure here, we consider a small part of the element dA, differential area located at a distance, yung raw consideration, we have there yung ating DF is equal to tau dA. Okay? The small torque produced, of course, is dt raw or the distance at a point multiplied to the tau dA. Okay? And to get the total torque, we just integrate integral of distance at any point raw multiplied to tau dA in limit of the area. Okay? So substituting the equation, it is well presented naman po in our module. We will be having this equation. Okay? So our tau or the torque, sorry, tau, if since our tau max over C is constant, we can simplify the equation in this equation. Labas natin siya sa integral equation. Tau max over C, constant, to and then integral of the distance squared, dA limit of area. Okay? And with that, the term now, we can just simplify. The term is, we can simplify the term into this term. Ano pa? That our maximum shear is equals to T multiplied to C over J. Okay? This is the maximum shear, the torque, the outer radius of the shaft, and the polar moment of inertia. Okay? So this is the formula for the maximum shear stress. Okay? Remember that the further a material point is from the center, the higher the shear stress it carries. So this is why at the outer surface, that is the most critical region in torsion design because that is the shear stress. Okay? Now let's proceed with the next one. Still, after the formula for the maximum shear stress, we now have naman po punta muna po tayo sa illustration. Ano? J actually, or the polar moment of inertia, is our geometric property of the circular area. And remember that it is always positive. Okay? So, ang unit natin or the formula natin for the solid shape is pi over 2 c raised to the 4. Okay? So, this is taken from this integral equation and simplification. And what you have to do is just to remember this formula. Okay? Kasi po, as we mentioned, our shear is equal the maximum. Ano po? Is equal to the TC over J. TC over J. So in the problem, torsion-related problem, we get the value of the torque and then we find the value of the polar moment of inertia. And this polar moment of inertia will be computed through this formula. Okay? Again, this is for the solid shape. Okay? Considering na meron tayong solid shape. If we have the hollow shape naman po, given on the next succeeding page po natin, kapag po naman tayo nasa tubular hollow shape, meaning we have the outer and the inner radius. So the formula for a solid shape, this is just C raised to the 4. But in case of hollow shape, that is outside radius raised to the 4 minus inside radius raised to the 4. Okay? So tatandaan lang po ang formula because we will be needing that to find the value of the maximum shear stress. We need the value of the polar moment of inertia. Okay? And here naman po for the absolute maximum torsional stress. So as I mentioned, andun dun po siya sa pinaka-surface or pinaka-outer radius ng ating shaft. Okay, so to determine the maximum stress in a shaft, so we have there mentioned the relation of torque, the C or the radius divided by the J. Okay? So, yun din po yung sinasabi ko, ano. So, just remember that in hollow shaft, these hollow shafts are widely used po in engineering field. Why? Because they provide high strength with less material. Okay, and understanding where the maximum torsional stress occurs ensures safe and efficient design. Okay, so yun lang po ang inyong tatandaan. Okay? So let's proceed with the important points. So ito naman po ipinapakita lang kung paano nangyayari. Ano po? So for the important points, okay, let's take it one by one. Let me zoom it properly. Okay? For the important points, first, when a shaft here, when a shaft is subjected to torque, the cross-sectional area or the cross-section remains the same. Okay? It remains the same plane. Okay? And it rotates as a rigid body. Okay? So this means there is no warping and the shape stays circular. Okay? And second, for the shear stress vary linearly along the radius. So as I mentioned, from zero at the center, it goes to the maximum at the outer surface. So this linear variation is a direct result of material behaving in a linear elastic manner, and it follows the Hooke's law. Okay? So another important concept is the complementary nature of shear stress. Okay? So because of this, shear stress is not only present on the cross-sectional plane. So it also present along an axial plane of the shaft. Here, look at this, axial plane of the shaft. So this explain why torsional failure may occur along the length of the shaft. So not just merely in its cross section. Pwede siya dun sa kanyang length. Ano, especially in materials that are weaker in that direction. Okay? And then finally, for the important points, the torsion formula is based on equilibrium. Okay, so gagamit pa rin po tayo dito ng equilibrium equation. So from the word torsion, so what is torsion? When we are dealing with the equations of equilibrium, just a moment. So that is just a moment. Ano, may unit po iyan na force multiplied to the distance. Could be Newton meter or pound inch or pound foot. Ano po? So it's just the same unit of moment. Okay? So the internal resisting torque must be equal to the applied torque when we do the equations of equilibrium. Okay? So this comes from the distribution of shear stress over the cross section. But remember, ano po? Remember that this formula that we are dealing with in torsion, ano po? They are just for a circular cross section. Okay? Hindi po siya pwede sa mga rectangular cross section, yung formula na ito. Okay, these are just applied in a circular cross section. Another assumption or consideration, the material is homogeneous and the material behaves linearly elastic. So those are the important points that you should remember. And in torsion, remember that both geometry and material behavior control how stress is distributed. Okay, so yun lang po ang inyong tatandaan. And the procedure for analysis, first for the internal loading, so ito na po yung sinasabi nating pagkuha ng value ng torque. First thing that we should remember, again, sigurado pong gagawa pa rin po ng free body diagram. Okay, determine the internal torque. So section the shaft perpendicular to its axis at a point where shear stress is to be determined. So it's up to you paano nyo po siya hahanapin. I hope you already know how to establish your free body diagram. So same as just the moment, magto-torque equation po kayo dyan, satisfying the conditions of equilibrium. Okay? And after you find the value of torque, calculate naman po in your from your section property, meaning what is the value of the polar moment of inertia at the cross-sectional area. Okay, remember that for the solid section, meron po tayong formula na pi over 2 c raised to the 4. Okay, c is the radius. Okay, and for the tube or a hollow shaft, we have pi over 2 multiplied to the outside radius raised to the 4 minus inside radius raised to the 4. Okay? And once we already knew the value of J, we already knew the value of torque, we can proceed to determine the value of stress. Okay? Shear stress. So what you have to do, you just have to determine where you want to evaluate the stress. So you should measure this rho or the distance, radial distance from the center. Okay? So applying the formula that shear stress is equal to T multiplied to rho or the radial distance from the center over the polar moment of inertia. Okay? So, if you are solving for the maximum shear stress, okay, if you are in the tau max, you just have the formula equal to torsion C or the outside radius over the polar moment of inertia. Okay? Presented by this formula. Okay? For the important note, remember, always use a consistent set of units. So again, shear stress acts perpendicular to the radial distance. Okay, so the direction of shear must produce the same sense of rotation as the applied torque. Okay, so yun po yun. So once again, torsion analysis is systematic. Okay, once you know the torque from the equations of equilibrium and from your free body diagram, and you know already the J or the geometry, the polar moment of inertia. You already knew the radial distance or the location. You can accurately determine the shear stress, and you can ensure the safety of your design. Okay, so that's all for the concept of our torsion.
Okay. So,
After the concept discussion ng ating torsion and shear stress, so before I present to you the sample discussion po ng ating mga related problem po dito, let's have the continuation, and that is all about the power transmission, okay? And the statically indeterminate torque loaded members. Okay? So, audible po ako. Nakikita po ang share screen ko, ang share video discussion. Okay? So, I will play and please react kung meron pong audio sa inyo. Ha? Everyone, now let's proceed with the power transmission. It's still in shafts.
okay.
So
So
now
please
let's
be
discuss
mindful
how the
again with the
shafts are
formula.
used
Okay?
for power transmissions. So in engineering systems, shafts and tubes are often or commonly used to transmit power from one component to another. So it could be used in turbine to a generator or from engine to wheels. Okay? So in the concept of power rotation, so we already know the definition of the power. Power is defined as the work performed per unit of time. Okay? So we knew that already from our previous courses that power is just the rate of doing work. Okay? So for the rotating shaft, work is done when a torque causes rotation. Okay? If the shaft rotates by a small angle theta, the work done could be is dw over t d theta. Okay? And what happened to power? Power becomes t d theta over dt. Okay, this one. And the power torque relationship, remember, we have the angular velocity of the shaft represented by this W, the fancy W, d theta over dt. So this is our angular velocity. So our power now, substitute the value here with the angular velocity. Therefore, our power is equal to torque multiplied to the angular velocity. Okay, that is the simplified equation. So remember the formula for the power. Okay? And here naman po, it's just showing the units of power. So in SI unit power, sa SI natin, we have watts. Okay? For the unit of torque, Newton meter. For the unit of angular velocity, we have radian per second. And remember that 1 watt is equals to 1 Newton meter per second. Okay? And in FPS system or the foot pound system or a foot pound second system, ano, abbreviation lang po. So the basic units of power are foot pound second. Okay? But, of course, mas ginagamit din natin ang HP or the horsepower is often used in engineering practice. Okay? And the conversion, 1 horsepower is equal to 550 pound per second. Okay? And another thing that we should be reminded is the frequency of rotation. Okay? So in practice, we also use frequency or the F. So it represents the number of rotations per second. Okay, so it is being measured or expressed in hertz. Okay, so the relation to angular velocity. So what is the relationship? This is the relationship of the frequency and angular velocity. We have the formula angular velocity is equals to 2 pi multiplied to f or frequency. Okay? Since one cycle is equals to 2 pi rad, then angular velocity is equals to 2 pi f. Therefore, if this is angular velocity, di po ba kanina power is equals to torque multiplied to the angular velocity, and this is now 2 pi f. So substitute to the formula, it will give us another formula for power in terms of torque and frequency. P is equals to 2 pi ft. Okay? So you just have to remember the formula. Okay? So this relationship shows that power can be increased by torque and F. Okay? By the rotational speed. Okay? This is why high-speed turbines can generate a large amount of power even with moderate torque. Okay? So just remember, in rotating system, torque causes motion, but power tells us how fast energy is being transferred. Okay? Making it a key parameter in machine performance. Okay? And in shaft design, when the power transmitted by the shaft and its frequency of rotation are unknown, the torque developed in the shaft can be determined. So coming from this equation, we can find the value of the torque. The torque is equals to P divided by 2 pi over F. Okay? So torque natin, ano po, mayroon pa siyang relationship sa ating dito sa ating polar geometry. Okay? So in shaft design, okay po for the concept. So in design, our goal is to ensure that the shaft can safely carry the torque without exceeding allowable stress. Okay? So using the formula a while ago, we can have the design or geometric parameter, this J over C becomes this equation. Okay? Where our shear allowable is this is the shear allowable stress. This is the geometric design parameter. Okay? So this T over allowable stress is our relationship. Makikita natin po dyan ang ating relationship nila. Ano? And for designing the solid shaft, lagi na pong kakabit natin ang formula ng polar J ng solid shaft. Formula pagkuha ng J ng hollow or tubular shaft. Okay, so lagi pong tatandaan because that will always be part of the design for the shaft. Okay, so remember that the design of hollow shaft, considering yung kanyang outside radius and inside radius. So, hollow shaft are often preferred. Ano po? So, siya yung laging prepared gamitin. Why? Because they provide the same strength with less material, making them lighter and more efficient. Okay? So, to summarize po with our this power and torque and this relationship. So remember that in shaft design, power determines the torque. So from the formula, makikita naman po natin. And torque determine the size of the shaft. Ano po? Yung mga sizes po niya. Linking performance directly to geometry and material strength. Okay? Now let's proceed with the next page natin. So this is an illustration. Okay? This is the angle of twist. Okay? So we already mentioned a while ago what is the angle of twist. That is the angle produced in the cross-sectional area once our tube or shaft is being twisted. Okay? Napihit. Ano? So, what is an angle of twist? When a shaft is subjected to torque, it does not develop stress. Okay? It it does not only, sorry, it, definitely it develops stress. Okay? That's why we compute the shear stress. So, it does not only develop stress, but it also rotates along its length. Ano po, siya napipihit hanggang doon sa kahabaan ng kanyang length. Okay? So, this rotation between one end of the shaft and the other is called the angle of twist. Okay? So, this angle. We have here a differential angle na po ang naka-represent din eh. But definitely, kung saan siya napunta yung representation ng direction, ano po, yun po yung pinaka-angle of twist niya. Okay? So, we must limit this deformation. Okay? So, in engineering design, we must limit deformation, not just stress. Okay? Because too much twisting, anong nangyayari? As we can see in the illustration from the start of our discussion, we can see the misalignment of components. Okay? And that twisting also can cause vibration or instability, and it may cause also failure in connected systems. So that is the importance or the why we need to study this uh all this ano po, all this torsion, all this angle of twist, okay? Because also this is especially important in analyzing also the statically indeterminate shape. So pag sinabi po natin indeterminate from our previous discussion, hindi siya basta nakukuha ang value through the equations of equilibrium. Okay, so going back with the angle of twist, the assumptions for analysis that we are going to do is we consider here all still that the shaft is circular section, the material is homogeneous, and it behaves elastic manner. Okay? Meaning, and also we assume that the deformation are small and gradual. Okay? So, yun po yung ating analysis or assumptions din na ginagamit. Ano pa? Also, we have for our uh, observation here, if we do the visualization of this figure, as we have discussed, anong nangyayari sa kanyang circular? It remains the same. Ano, hindi nagbabago yung kanyang cross-sec accumulated along the shaft length. Okay? Doon po siya nangyayari. So, in torsion, deformation is gradual and each small twist adds up. Okay? So, padagdag siya ng padagdag, resulting in the total angle of twist. Okay? Total angle of twist of the shaft. Okay? So, another one for ano, this is naman po the derivation na po of the angle of twist. So, based on the illustration from the previous page, so mapapansin po natin dyan, the relationship of the shear strain to twist, yung pong ating gamma. Ano, dito. Yan, meron po dyan nakalagay. Yan, the gamma. Okay? So this gamma, okay? So ano po ang relationship natin? So we have there yung ating so we have D P natin equal doon sa ating this one gamma dx over yung ating rho or this distance. Okay, up to that point. So apply the material behavior, the Hooke's law, where gamma is equals to si tau over G. Okay? So and from torsion formula, di po ba we have the tau is equals to T of X and the distance, the radial distance over J of X. Okay? And with the relationship, our gamma now is equals to T of X, our radial distance over J of X, G of X. Okay? And then after that, we substitute into the differential equation that our substitute lang po natin in this equation. So we have for the D, P is equals to T of X over J of X, G of X, and then dx. Okay? And after this differential equation, yung lagi nating ginagawa, we have to integrate along the entire length of the shaft. So our angle is equals to the integral of T of X over J of X, G X, dx, limit of the length of the shaft. Okay? And for our P, the total angle of twist, remember that this is in radians. Okay? Our T of X is internal torque along the shaft. Our J of X is the geometric property, and this may vary. And our G of X is the material property. Still, it may varies. Okay? So this equation na ipinapakita sa atin, the total twist po nito is the sum of small rotation, yung ating d theta. So each small segment contribute based on the applied torque, material stiffness, and cross-sectional geometry. Okay? And given with this equation of the angle of twist, if this T, kapag po ang ating T, J and G are constant, so the equation can be simplified, can be our angle of twist is just equals to T multiplied to the length of the shaft over GJ. Okay? So this is the formula for the angle of twist considering or in the case that our torque, our J, the polar moment of inertia, and our G, the modulus, are constant. So we can just use this formula for the angle of twist. Okay, so hindi naman po kailangang i-derive pa. You just have to remember the formula. Formula sa torque, sa shear stress, sa angle of twist, ano. And then applied it, know the value, and substitute the value to the given formula or the derived formula. So this is the formula for the angle of twist. Okay. So let's move on naman po with another one. Oh no. So please for similarity to actual deformation. Okay, so notice the look one, this illustration. Notice the similarity with actual deformation. So we have the equation of our deformation, the play, PL over AE. So it could both relates to the load. The load is the deformation, and then the geometry plus the material is the resistance. Okay? So it also relate on this equation po or the formula. Okay? And then we still have po these multiple torques. Multiple magkailan or maraming torque in segments. Multiple torque segments sa madaling sabi. So if the shaft has subjected if the shaft is subjected to several different torques, okay, or the cross-sectional area or shear modulus changes abruptly from one region of the shaft to the next, so our equation is this one, okay? So it can be applied to each segment of the shaft where these quantities are also constant. Okay? So para malaman natin ang total angle of twist, okay, we just take the summation po of all the segments. Okay? Yung total summation or total angle of twist. Okay? Because each segment contributes its own twist. Okay? So the total twist is the sum of all segment twist. I hope you get it. So you just have to get the summation of all the twist and on the segments. Okay? And then, let's move on for the sign convention. Sign convention na po tayo. So, this sign convention naman po, you could assume, but basically, you may follow or it is recommended to use the sign convention here because this is very important. Ano, to correctly apply to the formula. So, let's proceed with the illustration. So, yan. We have here the right hand rule. Okay? If the torque causes rotation in the direction of the curled fingers, okay, thumbs point outward, positive torque and twist. Okay? So, titingnan nyo lang naman po kung pasaan ang direction. Ayan, nakarepresent po dito ang kamay, curl, it is the direction of the rotation of the torque, same as the moment. Ano po? Kung ang daliri ng kamay, this forefinger are curled into the direction of counterclockwise. Okay? Kapag ganito naman po, the assumption of the right hand rule is in clockwise direction. Okay? So you must follow this positive sign convention for T and angle of twist. Okay? Minsan naman po ipinapakita na. Okay? So in real systems po kasi like turbines and drive shaft, torque may vary along the length. So breaking the shaft into segment ensures accurate prediction of total twist, and the angle of twist is not just one value. Okay? Hindi po siya iisa. It is the sum of how each segment of the shaft corresponds to torque. Okay? So ganun po iyon. So as you can see, titingnan nyo lang po, torque and twist. Ano ang direksyong sinusunod niya? Kailan siya positive at kailan siya negative? Ano? So, marunong na naman po tayong ano niyan, tumingin at gamitin sa problem. Okay? So, this next illustration po, this one, is just an example. The shaft has several applied torques. Okay? So, at different location. So, at point A, we have 80 Newton meter. At point B, we have 150 Newton meter. At point C, we have 60 Newton meter. At point D, we have 10 Newton meter. Okay? So, cut. Section the member, we have this section. But if you graph the torque value, you starting from point A. So this is your point A, your point B, your point C, point C and your point D. Okay, so at point A, look at the orientation that is by the right hand rule, it is positive at clockwise direction. So at point A, we are given with 80 Newton meter clockwise, counterclockwise, so that is positive, positive 80. Okay, at point A, check, positive 80. So at point B, the torque is rotating at clockwise. Okay? Opposing the assumption. So, clockwise, negative 150 summation negative 150 galing sa 80. So 80 minus 150. So that will give us negative 70 at point B. Okay, the total torque at point B is negative 70 Newton meter. Okay, and going to point C naman po, we have there the torque 60 Newton meter, direction of counterclockwise, meaning that is positive. Okay? So from point B that we have negative 70 going to point C having positive 60. So the total torque at point C will be negative 70 plus 60. That is negative 10 at C. Okay? Umakit siya doon or pumunta siya sa negative 10. Okay? And at the end of the shaft at point D, okay, given with the positive 10 Newton meter coming from this point C having negative 10, okay, going to clockwise torque which is positive 10 counterclockwise torque which is positive 10 Newton meter. So negative 10 plus 10, that is 0. Pupunta po kayo sa 0 at point D. Okay, so that is how we do the torque analysis and how we use the sign convention when it is positive and when it is negative. Do not forget, it's just the same as the moment. Okay? And then we have here naman po the angle of twist. Okay? Multiple segment with the use of sign convention as we did it a while ago here. So let's apply the concept of angle of twist to a shaft with multiple torque segments. So as being illustration, divide the shaft into cut it into three segments. We have here this one, and this one. Ano po? We have here segment AB, segment BC, and segment CD. Okay? So each segment has its own internal torque value. Di po ba? Kada segment, meron silang internal torque value. So A to B, that is 80 Newton meter. Okay, B to C, that is 150 Newton meter. Okay? And C to D, that is 10 Newton meter. Okay? So, we already determined the torque. Ano po? The torque at AB, as we mentioned a while ago, torque at BC at torque at CD. Okay? So, the positive and the negative. So, the positive, ibig sabihin, the assumption is same with, the sign is, the rotation of the torque is same with our assumption, and negative, it indicates the opposite direction of our sign convention. Ano po? Now, applying the angle of twist equation, sabi natin, the angle of twist is the summation of the TL over JG. Okay, so substitute all the torque value of our angle of twist from A to D. Excuse me. So this will give us this equation. No po? So the total angle of twist between points A and D is the sum of twists in each segment. Ano, so yun lang po ipag-a-add din natin, and that will give us the angle of twist. It is just the algebraic sum of twist from each segment Okay? So both magnitude and direction must be considered. Okay? Remember here po that in torsion problems with multiple loads, always divide the shaft. Lagi siyang isa-section ang ating shaft or ihahatiin, ano po, and apply the sign convention carefully. Okay? And sum the contributions to get the total angle of twist. Okay? So, yun po ang tatandaan. Listen tayo. So, procedure for analysis. The angle of twist one end of a shaft or tube with respect to the other end can be determined using the following procedure. Okay? Same procedure. Find the value of the internal torque. So it can be done by or it can be determined by the method of sections and using equations of moment equilibrium applied along the shaft axis. Next, if the torque varies along the shaft length, a section should be made at the arbitrary position x along the shaft and the internal torque represented as a function of x. And if several constant external torques act on the shaft between its end, the internal torque in its segment of the shaft between any two external torque must be determined. And for the best result, we can represent it graphically in torque diagram. Okay, so yung ginawa po natin kanina, pwede po yun ang inyong option. Okay, kung doon po kayo nadadalian. And for the angle of twist, when solving for the angle of twist, if the shaft geometry varies, okay, use J of X as a function of position. So if torque or geometry changes abruptly, apply the formula for segment. Yun pong ating formula na yan. Ano? This one. Kapag po ang ating shaft axis or the position of X varies. Okay? So use that relation. And for constant segment naman po, ay ito na po tayo. We just have to use this formula for the angle of twist. Okay? And the last but not the least important points that we have to remember, we have we have to be consistent in our sign convention. Okay? So always ensure the proper sign convention, the recommended, the right hand rule. Also, consistent units throughout the solution. Okay? So now let's move on to a more advanced case. So we have statically indeterminate torque loaded members. So it's just mean statically indeterminate shaft. Okay? So a shaft is statically indeterminate when equilibrium equations alone are not enough to solve unknown torque values. Okay? So example po niyan kung ang shaft is fixed at both ends. Okay? So the reaction torques at that or at those supports are unknown. And from the equilibrium, we have the summation of moment equal to 0 is equal to 0. And we have, let's have where's the figure? Let me look at the figure 11B. So this is the figure that we are talking about. So we have here two fixed connection or supports where we have to find the value of those torques or reaction at those fixed ends. Okay? So by using this equation or equilibrium equation, This gives just one, okay? Only one equation. But there are multiple unknowns. Okay? So that is why we call it as indeterminate torque loaded members. Okay? And of course, if we are dealing with the statically indeterminate torque loaded members, we will be dealing with the compatibility condition. Okay? So to solve, we use deformation compatibility since both ends are fixed, so total angle of twist must be equal to 0. Okay? Again, both ends are fixed. Walang pag-iikutan sa magkabilang dulo or wala tayong makukuha summation. So the total angle of twist must be equals to 0, meaning it provides this as an additional equation needed to solve the problem. Okay? So just remember, in statically indeterminate torsion problem, equilibriums only gives us part of the solution. Okay? But deformation compatibility completes our solution. Okay? So itatandaan. So expressing twist using torsion formula. So we have angle P is equals to TL over JG. Okay, we apply this to each segment AC, to the segment AC and to the segment CB. Okay? And the compatibility equations now as being presented is this formula. Ano po? Compatibility equation becomes, and this is coming from this illustration, ano, this figure, see, we cut the uh, shape. Okay, so we have here our compatibility equation. Solving above equation for the reaction, realizing that the length is equals to the length AC, this one po ano, plus the length BC. So we can get that the TA is equal to T multiplied to the length VC over L, and TB or the torque at B is equals to T multiplied to the length of AC over the entire length or L. Okay? So you can see if you interpret this, torque is distributed along or distributed based on segment lengths. The longer the segment carries less torque, okay, the shorter segment carries more torque. Okay, just remember that for statically indeterminate shaft, the load distribution depends not only on equilibrium but also on how much each segment resists deformation. Okay, so when both ends in this example, when both ends are fixed, the shaft cannot freely twist. Okay, so internal torques adjust themselves to satisfy both equilibrium and zero total deformation. Okay. Now let's proceed for the procedure for analysis for statically indeterminate torsion. Now let's summarize this step by step. Okay, first, equilibrium. So when we say equilibrium, you should present your solution along with a free body diagram. Okay, draw the FBD of the shaft, identify all applied torques and reactions, and apply the equation of moment equilibrium. Okay? Summation ng moment equals to 0. Okay? And next, compatibility. Okay? Write the compatibility condition. Consider how the shaft is constrained. So given from our previous example, if both ends are fixed, so the total angle of twist is equal to 0. Okay? And if one end is fixed, twist is measured relative to that point. Okay po? So tatandaan, it depends to the condition. And next, we have load displacement naman po. Load displacement relationship. So relate torque to deformation using the angle of twist is equals to TL over JG. Okay? And then substitute into the compatibility equation. Kasi kayo po or tayo po ang magde-determine ng compatibility equation. Ano po? And then solve the equations. Solve the equations for the unknown reactive torques. Okay? So combine the equilibrium equation to compatibility equation and then solve for the unknown reaction torque. Okay? And if the torque value is negative, it means the actual direction is opposite to the assumed direction. Okay? Just remember, again, I will repeat, statically indeterminate problems require both equilibrium and deformation relationships. Okay? One without the other is not enough. And in torsion, solving indeterminate shapes is a balance between forces and deformation. This is where mechanics becomes truly powerful. Okay? And that's all for our concept discussion for the last part of our chapter 6.
Okay, so any questions?